Hello fellow collectors and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Sodo Kamen Rider Revice by 1 and Kamen Rider Saber and Kamen Rider 01. So very much like with Saber's first Sodo box, only about a third of this is actually for Revice. It's just them continuing to tie up loose ends from Saber and 01, something that we will see continue for a bunch of Revice's waves. And I do want to apologize for the lateness for this one. I know we're out at 5 or 6 is out now at this point. But very much having a backlog of stuff, so finally getting to these. I definitely want to get through these so that I can get to the later waves because there's some really cool stuff down the pike. So outer box here, very boring, just kind of a boring brown box. But if we go ahead and open this up, we will see that there are 14 boxes inside. You can see we have 2 for Revi, 2 for Vice, 2 optional parts boxes so you can do the Rex genome, 2 for Kamen Rider Saber Superhero Senki, which I really love that form, that's really cool. 2 for Storius, 2 for Vulcan Lone Wolf, and then 2 for Valkyrie Justice Saber, or Sabro, depending on how you want to pronounce that. So, we will go ahead and just kind of look through these boxes real quick. Here are the 2 for Revi. Here are the 2 for Vice. Here are the 2 optional part boxes, so you can do the Rex genome, which still looks just as ridiculous in Sodo form. But you can see this one over here actually has some additional accessories for Saber. You have Durandal's trident, and then you have the hand holding the sword for Primitive Dragon. So a couple accessories they had been promising for a while. Here is Saber Superhero Senki. Next we have Storius. And then we have Vulcan Lone Wolf. And then last but not least, we have Valkyrie Justice Saber, or Sabare. So pretty cool. A lot of cool stuff in this one. Gonna go ahead and start stickering these up, and then we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here we go. 6 figures all stickered up and fully assembled. And I gotta admit, some of these were a beast to sticker, but we'll get into that as we go. So let's start over here with Revi in the Rex genome. He looks pretty good. I think they did a nice job. This guy actually was one of the easier ones to sticker. You have a couple here on the head, the eyes, this little bit here in between his 2 antennae. The teeth were stickers. But most of the turquoise metallic is paint. This little bit here on the inside of the forearm is a sticker. Obviously the Vice stamp, and then the front of the driver is a sticker. And I think there's one sticker here on the leg. And then these little bits here on the top of the feet. But for the most part, he's got a lot of paint applications. Oh, the belt as well, I forgot. But he looks good. Really, really nice. Head's on a ball joint. You can see nice range of motion there. Tilt side to side, rotate side to side. You have the newer shoulders, so you can take these all the way out. You see that they have the large channel there to kind of simulate a butterfly joint, so you can get a nice range of motion there. You have this little shoulder pad here on the arm, bicep swivel, nice 90-degree bend there in the elbow. Can bend backwards a little bit, not a full 90 degrees. You do have a ball joint for the hand, as you can see there. So if you kind of pull that away a little bit, you can get a nice range of motion, or you can kind of push it all the way in for a more uniform look. You have a waist swivel there because, again, that's just a peg. Now, the way the thighs work, you can see that they're a little bit longer, and so you can't directly just bend him at the hip. You kind of have to pull it away a little bit, and then you can rotate this up. So kind of pull this away. You can see where the joint is here, the thigh swivel. You kind of pull that back a little bit, and then you can go ahead and get whatever poses you need. But it's kind of nice because that way if you want a more uniform look, so there's not large gaps if you're just posing them like this, you can see how it kind of goes right up and fills that space, which I think is kind of cool. I think that's nice. You do have that thigh swivel like I talked about, and it is just a ball joint there in the hip. Then you have a little over 90 degrees in the knee, and then you have a ball joint for the ankle. So all in all, I think he looks really, really good. He does also come with a closed set of fists that can hold weapons. And then he's got these two open hands here. But yeah, I like him a lot. It's a fun suit. I think Sodo really did him justice. All in all, really, really nice. So let me peg him back in here. He does come with a stand, as you can see. And you have a sticker here for Rex Genome. You can peg extra pieces here onto the side, like I've done here with the fists. Peg that into the hole in the back of the waist. So let's go ahead and move on to Vice. Now you can see Vice has a ton of extra pieces here pegged into his stand, and of course that's for the Rex Genome, the remix, which I will get to a little bit later on in the video. But let's take a look at Vice. He looks good. Again, not too many stickers. The eyes here, I think, are one large sticker that you put on before you put on the helmet. The helmet's fully painted. You have the scarf back here on a ball joint. He's got the same kind of articulation as Revice, so you can see you have that butterfly joint there in the shoulder, as well as a kind of ball joint in the actual shoulder. You have the thigh. This is the bicep swivel, and these are meant to pop off, which we'll see a little bit later on. You have the nice elbow joint there. He can bend back a little bit, but really this part on his forearm kind of gets in the way. That's a sticker. Let's see. I think this is painted, actually. I think the belt's a sticker. These pieces here on the side are stickers. But this here on the shins, that's all paint. The tail back here is on a limited ball joint. That's all painted. And then he's got kind of a similar thing going on with his thighs, where you kind of have to pull it away a little bit before you can get the full range of motion there, but it is there. But yeah, he looks good. I like him quite a bit. I think the scarf is pretty well done. I think that makes sense. You can have it on the ball joint here so you can get nice dynamic range of posing there. And it has a little cutout on this side so you can bring it over. You can't do that everywhere, but on the side here, so if you wanted to kind of, you know, fly in the breeze over to the side there, you can have that going on. But yeah, all in all, I think he looks pretty sharp. And like I said, he's got a lot of interswappable parts for the remix that we'll get on to later. But you can see all the pieces right there. And he also has the peg hole there on the back of the waist for the stand. Next up, we have Superhero Senki for Saber. I really like this form. I think this is a really fun form. He's got a decent amount of paint, but he's got a lot of stickers as well. Pretty much all of the kind of rainbow coloring is stickers. The paint here on the thighs is nice. This little bit here on the kneecaps is a sticker. The gold is stickers. But all of this kind of rainbow here is stickers. Here's the book. Let me see if I can zoom in there so we can see the book. And that looks pretty good. That's one big sticker. All the coloring on the helmet is a sticker. Well, multiple stickers, I should say. Now, he has very similar articulation to Revi and Vice because he's got that same shoulder joint. This is on the top of the shoulder piece here. He's got the bicep swivel. He has the arm that stops. That was something they did for Saber. They didn't want the elbow to bend backwards. He's got the waist swivel there. He's got these two big skirt pieces that you have hooked into ball joints here on the back. And like I said, really nice red paint here for the thighs. Ball joint in the hip. He's got the thighs swivel. He's got a little over 90 degrees there in the knee. And then a ball joint for the ankle. But yeah, he looks good. You can see the sticker here for the sword. Really, really good. I think that's all one sticker. Yeah, that's all one sticker. He doesn't have the hilt piece for the back of his hand. He just has the sword itself. That was something they introduced a little bit later on. But yeah, overall, I think he looks really cool. And like I said, I really like this form a lot. I think it's really fun. But I would say really just the red on the crotch, the thighs, and then this little bit of gold here. That's pretty much the only paint. Everything else is stickers. Actually, yeah, that's stickers up there too. So he's got a decent amount of stickers. Now you can see this piece here that is connected to his stand. This is the driver for Primitive Dragon that has like the claw coming out of the book. So that was something that they included here, even though it doesn't go to any of the figures specifically in this set. It was just something that they included in there were 2 parts boxes, and I'll get to the other parts a little bit later on as well. But I just think this is neat. You have a special made driver piece that this plugs into, and that's got a ball joint there, and then you have a ball joint here as well. So you can have this claw coming out of the book to grab people, which I think is really neat. I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side. Otherwise, he's got an open set of hands. And he's got all these stands have ball joints, and then they have the hinge here as well. I should have said that, but so we'll just peg this back in. But yeah, overall, I think he looks really, really good. I really like this form a lot, so I'm happy that we got to it. But yeah, he looks solid. Next up, we have Storius, and this was definitely one of the more difficult figures to sticker here. So the way I have this done, you can lift the cape up. There's kind of a hinge here, and then you can peg the stand into this spot on the back. And you can see there he's got an open set of hands. We'll put that off to the side for the moment. So he's got these two kind of skirt pieces. This one is kind of a just shorter skirt piece, but this part actually wraps around. And you can see that this is all stickers right here on the top of the skirt piece. And then he's got a full cape here. Now the inside of the cape is painted red, which looks really, really nice. I do like that quite a bit. And you can see how that connects here to the back of the torso plate, I guess we'll call that. And then that kind of folds back down. So overall, he looks really good. Just the stickers were a monster to put on. There was one right here on the top of his crest that just did not want to stick for some reason. And then all of these like little frosted tips that he's got, they were a pain to sticker. Even these around here on the side, you can kind of see stuff's not 100% sticking the way it's supposed to. But yeah, the gold was really a pain. These little rings around his antlers here. The face wasn't too bad. And this is paint here, the top of this like anchor looking piece. But yeah, these in particular were very, very difficult to apply. But the finished product does look pretty good. He's got a ball joint here for the head. I think he's got the same... Yeah, he's got pretty much all the same articulation as Superhero Senki. You just kind of have to move the cape out of the way to get the full range of motion, but it's easily done. And then these are all stickers here. These were kind of a pain. The sword looks really cool, though. I do like that a lot. That was one large sticker there. The inside of the forearms, the biceps, those are all stickers. You got the book right there. That looks pretty good. And then all the legs here were stickers as well. And then the little tips of his toes. But all in all, it's a really nice figure. Really nice range of articulation. It's just applying those stickers was quite the pain, but it does look good when you're all said and done. And I do appreciate that they painted the inside of the cape, and they painted the inside of this piece, but they didn't paint the inside of this piece, which I think is really strange. Obviously, it's a budgetary issue, but I could understand leaving both of these unpainted and just painting the cape. I think I would have been okay with that. But to do half and not the other half, I think is a really weird choice. Like I said, I'm sure it's a budget problem, but it just looks weird to have half of it painted and half of it not painted. So, but overall, he is a good-looking figure, just very difficult to get all the stickers applied. And now we move on to our 0-1 characters, because I guess 0-1 in Sodo will never truly end. So here we have Lone Wolf. I do really like this form. I think this looks really, really cool. I have not yet seen the Visa Next that this is from, but it's definitely on my list. I really think the red and the blue and the gray look really sharp. You can see he's got some stickers here for the driver, some stickers here for the chest. These stickers here on the shoulders were a little difficult to get to apply. They didn't want to stick at first. The stickers on the head really worked well. Those compound eyes do look good. You've got some stickers here for the forearms. A few stickers here for the thighs. The blue is all painted. It's just this kind of gray, black, and red sticker here. Same with this here on the leg. All the blue is painted. So he does look sharp. I like him a lot. Like I said, I really do like this form. So very happy to have him. Now, because he's built on a 0-1 body, he does not have the same shoulders. It's just a simple rotation and then a hinge out to the side. You can't remove the arms like you can with the others. So that is something. Also, you know, he's got the typical thighs that just work normally. You don't have to pull them or remove them or anything like that. And these guys don't really have that either. I should have mentioned that. They have typical normal thighs. But yeah, this is definitely built still using a 0-1 body, so it doesn't have all the same range of motion that some of the more recent figures have. But for the most part, he looks good. Now, he doesn't come with any weapons. He doesn't come with a shot riser, obviously, because he uses the 0-1 driver for this form. I didn't know if he, like I said, I haven't seen that movie yet, so I don't know if he still uses that as a gun while he's using this driver. I would assume he probably does not. But yeah, he doesn't really have any accessories. He does have some alternate hands that I'll get to a little bit later on because they're kind of generic. He also comes with some weapons for other characters, just kind of thrown in the box with him. And I'll show those off in a minute as well. And then last up we have Justice... Hold on, how do I say this? Justice Serval, I'm assuming, because it's Serval Tiger that she uses. This is a pretty cool form. Now you can see she does use the shot riser. Now you don't get it in gun form though, which I think is funny because they do include, and let me pull this out of my pile of accessories here. They give you the driver like slot where the gun's not inserted, and then they give you the gun attached, but they don't give you the gun for her to wield to equip with this. So I think that's kind of a funny thing. But you can see she has these massive claws here, so she doesn't really need the gun. And they look pretty cool. And I think this is a modified version of the Hornet, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's kind of why it's got the same kind of like almost honeycombing pattern. But the helmet looks really good. Really nice stickers on there. All of the black here is stickers, but it works. The torso is a sticker there. Obviously the gun's a sticker. Stickers here on the thighs, stickers on the kneecaps, stickers here on the side of the shins, on the feet. And even still, this has that kind of honeycombing effect, so I'm definitely sure that these are the same boots as the Hornet, if the whole form's not, but I kind of think it is. These pieces just peg in. There's no stickers or anything for them. They just peg into the side of the thigh. Again, she's made off the 01 body, so she's got the normal rotation and hinge in the shoulder. You can't pull those arms off, but then ball joint in the head, waist rotation. The elbows can go back, so you have a full 180 in the elbows because that was something they didn't stop until Saber. And then you have the normal ball joint in the hips and the thigh rotation. And then pretty good range of motion there in the knees and ball joint in the ankles. So those are the 01 bodies for both Justice Serval and Lone Wolf. But they look good. I'm really happy that they got to these really nice forms. Like I said, I got to watch that movie. But I really like both of these. So honestly, all 6 of these are pretty great. Stickers for these 2 weren't too bad. They're a little involved. Like I said, for his shoulders, I had some trouble getting them to actually stick. But then once they did, they were fine. Storius was definitely the worst, and it was just because of those antler tips. They were incredibly hard to get the stickers to wrap around because they gave you big stickers to like wrap around these tiny little surfaces, so that was definitely difficult. Superhero Senki looks great. Stickers weren't too bad, and honestly, the stickers for these 2 really weren't bad at all. There weren't much in terms of stickers for these 2. It was mostly belts and heads, really. That's mostly what the stickers were for them. Now, real quick, I did say I'm going to get to the genome form, and I will do that in a moment, but I wanted to show off some extra accessories that these guys came with. Plus, we had 2 accessory boxes in this set. Half of each accessory box were the genome pieces for the Rex, but I did want to show off some stuff. We did get the trident for Durandal. This was something that they promised a while ago. And you can see that the sticker wraps around the entire shaft of the trident, which is nice. Now, unfortunately, that is a problem because he can't really hold it on the staff because of that, because with the sticker thickness, it won't fit inside the hand, but you certainly can have him hold it down here. So you would just kind of have to place it. And they do give you some open hands. So say, for example, we have a closed fist here. You can go ahead and pop this into the closed fist, no problem. And then they give you kind of like an open hand here to kind of hold it like this because he can't close around it, but he can kind of hold it like that. You could get a pose like that. I don't have Durandal handy. I have not put him together yet. He is one of the Saber boxes that I never got to. But the trident does look really nice. Now, they don't have a sticker on the back of it, which I feel like they kind of should have, because if you're going to have the entire shaft have a sticker, it would make sense to also just slap one more sticker in the box, because this is just one solid sticker here on the front. They could have put one more sticker here to just really complete this. But so be it. It still looks really good. I still really like that. Now, they also have the small version. I believe the sword version came with Durandal, but they have these 2 pieces here. So how this is supposed to work, you're supposed to take this off and put a hand there, so it looks like he's grasping the handle. You have the back part hanging out. You have this part here where the book goes, and then he's supposed to also put this in the other hand, so it looks like he's unplugging it. So they give you that option, because obviously he would plug it in like this for the sword, or he would plug it in like this for the trident. But they want to give you these two pieces so that you can pose him like he is kind of, you know, taking it apart. Either A, because that's how he kind of stops time when he unplugs it, or it could make it look like he's, you know, mid-switching them. So they do give you these two pieces, which is cool, and there's a spot for, you know, put one in each hand so you can pose them like that. So that's really nice as well. You also get a hand holding the saber sword to be used by Primitive Dragon, because he never held the sword normally. I don't know why that was a thing, but he always grabbed the blade of the sword, so you could have this be used in conjunction with this crazy giant hand coming out of the driver. These two are both supposed to be for Primitive Dragon. And then we have some extra stuff here for the 01 folks. I did already show off that piece of the driver that doesn't have the gun connected, so you can switch that out if you like. We have some additional hands. You have a blue finger-pointing hand for Lone Wolf, even though both of his hands are black. He has two black hands, and then you can switch it out with one blue hand. So that's weird. I mean, unless this is meant for another character I'm not familiar with, which is very possible, but I don't know why this one... It looks like it's black, but then painted blue. Then we have an opened hand, and actually a set of open hands here, which can be used with Justice Serval. So we have those as well. And then we have some sword stuff that I'm told is for Mitsubo Jinrai, but again, I don't have him handy. So you have a sword here, and there is a sticker on both sides, but the way it's done, it's not super noticeable. Honestly, it's kind of mostly a dark gray with just a little bit of a lighter silver on the edge, which looks okay, but you can see here down the center where the sticker doesn't cover, you have a black stripe there. So let me just bring this hand back in that I used earlier. So you can have him hold this, and again, it doesn't have the end of the handle, so it's just the hand holding the sword. If I can remove this. Or you have kind of a, you know, mid-drawing the sword out of the sheath, and so you can kind of go ahead and put that in there. Again, I would like a piece for the rest of the handle, and I'm assuming you'd have to use this where maybe, again, you're using this hand to hold the sheath while he's pulling the sword out, because I don't really know. You don't just have your character just hold the sword like this and have this hang out, so I don't really know. And it doesn't have a peg on the side or anything to kind of peg into a body, so it's just kind of the hand drawing the sword out of the sheath there. Or they give you the hand molded into the empty sheath, so this could be used in conjunction with the sword so that it looks like he kind of just pulled it out of the sheath, which I think that works, because that way you can just swap out the hand and then the sheath is molded into the hand there. So you get a lot of these extra pieces here. Like I said, there were 2 accessory boxes in this set, so you can see that you do get a lot of stuff in addition to all the extra pieces that you need for the Rex genome. So let's go ahead. I'm going to get all the stuff together, and we will check out how to assemble the Rex genome. And before you put it in the comments, I do realize I keep calling it the Rex genome. Technically, this is the Rex genome, and we're talking about the remix form for Rex. So apologies. I know it's the remix. But in any case, we're going to go ahead and remove him from the stand and just kind of go ahead and put that off to the side. You do want the 2 open hands for this. So we will just stand him there, assuming he will not fall over on us. And then we are going to take Vice here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take these pieces. So you can see he's actually got 2 separate arms. And these are connected to a piece here that you can plug into the stand, which is nice. Now, these are from kind of the bicep down. So we want to unplug these. And then we will come to Vice, and we will completely unpeg. We can take these shoulder pieces off, because they're probably going to fall off anyway, because they tend to do that as we're moving the figure around. But we're going to go ahead, and it might be easier to just completely take the arm off. I've kind of found that that is the case, because these are actually on here pretty tight. It's, well, okay, they proved me wrong. The first time I couldn't get them off right away, but it came off a little bit. I guess over time it gets easier. So we're going to completely swap out from the bicep down, and then we're going to go ahead and pop that back in. So once again, remove this, pop that off, swap in the new arm, and then peg this back in here. We're also going to take off these shin pieces and just kind of put all this stuff off to the side here. we're going to take these pieces and unpeg them from the side of the stand. And then these are kind of our new shin pieces. So we're just going to go ahead and peg these in. And you can see that they have the big T-Rex feet attached. So we go ahead and do that. We are going to unpeg this piece here, which you can see that whole piece pops off. You don't actually take the ball joint out of this piece. This whole piece pops out. And then we're going to unpeg the tail as well, because we have new tail and scarf pieces. We're going to go ahead and peg in our new tail piece, which I think I have upside down. I think it's supposed to go like that. And then we pop in our new scarf piece, because they're going to kind of form a new tail like that for the T-Rex. And then we have these new gigantic shoulder pad pieces that we are going to peg in where we removed the previous one. So we're just going to go ahead and peg this in, and then we are going to peg this in like so. Now that's not going to stay like that for very long, but at least we're somewhat ready. So we will go ahead and start getting Revice ready. So he's much easier to get ready. You just come around to the back and you remove this back plate. Put that off to the side. And then we have this new massive back plate. So this piece here does come separately in the box, but that pegs into this. And these are both stickers. So these are big stickers that you need to apply. I should have pointed out that these are stickers here on the big T-Rex feet. You can see I didn't do so well with that one, but most of the rest of this is pretty solid colored plastic. I think just this little bit of black, the hinge there, is a sticker, because this is just one solid piece of pink plastic. So you're going to take this, and then this is going to peg onto the back like so, and then this is going to kind of come over top of this head, and then you kind of get the head situated so that his eyes kind of become the eyes of the T-Rex, and then you can kind of put the arms together like so to form the lower jaw, which kind of works and kind of doesn't work, but there you go. There is the mouth of your T-Rex, kind of. Then there is another piece here that you are going to peg in. As I drop this, you're going to peg in to his waist, so I'm going to unpeg this here just for simplicity, and that's going to peg into the back of the waist, basically where you would peg the stand in. And then this just sits like this. We're going to have to pull this out a little bit so that we can get that range of motion there that we need. So pull that out, bend him at the hips and the knees, and then probably rotate this a little bit. And then I can go ahead and peg this back on like so. And you can see that kind of covers that, which is nice. So let me fix the T-Rex jaw. So now we're going to take Vice and we're going to flip these pieces around so that they kind of cover the hands. And then we are going to bend him at the knees and waist as well. And then what's going to happen is you can see that these new hands have holes in the forearms. And that is for these two connections right here. So this is going to peg in right here. And then you can kind of rotate this around and down like that. This is going to peg in over here. And then we'll rotate this around. Or you can just unpeg it and peg it back in, however you prefer. We kind of want to position the head down like so. And then we're going to peg the bottom of the feet into these pegs here on the knees. So we will go ahead and do that. And then it's just kind of a matter of lining everything up as best you can. Get the tail pieces to line up. And that's pretty much it. It's not the best. It's not the worst. It's very similar to the remix figures that they did, the Revice remix line that didn't last very long. It didn't really work in that line. It doesn't really work here. I would argue it's maybe a little bit more successful here. It kind of feels a little bit more cohesive. Not much. I will say it holds together well. I mean, it's not going to fall apart or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I just, well, okay, these little pieces. Right as I say that, of course. These don't peg in the best. I mean, they peg in and they'll stay if you don't move them around too much, but they're not 100% solid. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been a huge fan of these. I don't really think they're that successful. I mean, if you kind of look at it from far away and squint at it, I guess it kind of looks like a T-Rex. The one thing I do think is kind of neat, they give you this little grabber claw piece that you can peg into a figure stand. And then you can bring this up, and if you're having any trouble with him standing, you can kind of use that. I mean, honestly, he stands pretty well on his own, but if you wanted some kind of dramatic pose, I don't know how you'd even do it, but if you wanted to come up with some kind of pose that he couldn't just stand on his own, you do have that piece there to kind of help you steady it, which I think is kind of cool. And this just, you know, opens and closes very simply. And they're not linked together, so if you need to close one, not the other, that is possible. So I do appreciate those extra pieces. Like I said, I appreciate that Sodo's doing this, but I don't really need it, honestly. And the nice thing about it is the parts that you would use to make the remix form are interchangeable. So it's not like the base form. If you just want the figure, it doesn't suffer at all from this, because you could just put all those other pieces in a box and not look at them again. It's not like he's constantly got these weird gangly legs hanging off his shins. That's not the case. So I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that all the remix pieces are interchangeable, so that if you don't care about them at all, it does not, you know, hurt the normal just suit forms at all. So I appreciate that. I kind of wish Sodo didn't bother, though, because it is kind of extra accessory boxes that they have to kind of put in there to make them happen. But I guess because the remix line died, they felt like it was their duty to do all of them, because I think the remix line only got to 4 of them, or maybe 6. No, I think 5, technically. So in any case, if you want this, it's here. If you don't care about it at all, you can completely ignore it if you'd like. I think this is a really great set. I still think it's funny that this is the first set for Revice and only 2 of the figures are for Revice, but it was the same way with Saber. But we're getting 2 for Revice, we're getting 2 for Saber, we're getting 2 for 01. Apparently 01 and Sodo will just never end, but I'm okay with it. They all look really, really good. I won't lie, though. Some of these were some of the most difficult Sodo figures as far as stickering goes. Storius, in particular, was definitely one of the most difficult I've had to sticker in some time, but I can't argue with the end result. He really does look good when all said and done. I mean, they really all do. So, as long as you're okay with a decent amount of stickers, you're going to get some quality figures by the time you're done. Lone Wolf and Justice Serval look fantastic. They are built off the older bodies, so you lose a little bit in terms of articulation there. But the other 4 are newer enough that they have those nice butterfly shoulders, as well as all the other articulation. I do really like the new way the thighs are done, or I should say the thighs/hips for Revi and Vice, because you have that nice, clean look where you don't have a lot of gap, but you just kind of have to pull them down a little bit to get the full range of motion out of the hips. You don't lose anything, but you actually gain a nice clean look if you just want to display them, you know, in a normal standing pose. I think that's actually pretty cool. So I think that's something that's going to be incorporated going on. So I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. But honestly, Revi and Vice, it is their first Sodo set. They do steal the show, in my opinion. The Rex, I'm going to call it the right thing this time, the Rex remix form is not that great, but it's not Sodo's fault. It's the limitation of the design. It's exactly what it looks like in the show. They did not mess anything up. Same thing I said when I reviewed those Revice remix figures. It's just not a great idea. I just don't think they work that well. I mean, the Rex is okay. It's somewhat successful, but what I do really appreciate is that you don't have to deal with those at all if you don't want to. All of the pieces needed for the remix form are 100% interchangeable, which means if you just want nice figures for Revi and Vice in the Rex genome, you have those. And you can see them here. They look fantastic. So if you just want the figures and you don't want to deal with the Rex remix at all, you don't have to. If you want it, it's there. If you want to ignore it, you are able to do that. And I really appreciate that. I think that's something that Sodo did, that the Remix Revice figure line didn't really have the option of doing that, but Sodo really pulled it off, and I really appreciate them for that. So I think this is a great set. Pick it up if you have the means. At this point, I think we're on like 5 or 6. I know I'm behind, but this is a really great set, and I definitely recommend checking it out. I had a fun time with them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.